Good evening and welcome to tonight's show from DJNTV, Disc Jockey News TV. Tonight's show is brought to you by Electra Voice, DJ Event Planner, DJ Trivia, Odyssey Innovative Designs and Cases, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and the DJNTV Insiders.
Hello and welcome, my good vibe DJs and music lovers alike. Thank you so much for joining us here on the DJ Spotlight. You're watching the Disc Jockey News TV channel, and today, Nah-Dah-DEV-vah is an Edmonton-based DJ and producer duo. Since 2003, they've been a staple in Alberta's electronic underground music scene. Digging deep and dabbling in many genres, their sound has always been consistent with epic builds and bassy drops, from UK label releases to even a tune on EA games. These two have stories that you're gonna want to hear about in today's episode, especially if you're an artist wanting to set themselves apart during the festival season. Thank you, you two, for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
So we love stories. Jen and Francesco, let's hear yours. Tell us about those early beginnings in the dance music community and how it brought you two together today.
Well done.
Well, we just kind of met each other in the scene, and we're seeing each other all the time at shows. And there was one day where he was asking for a bunch of Crafty Cut reverbs for his sets back when he was a solo DJ producer. But so I had a crazy breakbeat collection and so many Crafty Cuts reverbs. So he wanted them, and I said, yeah, sure, come hang out. And he came to hang out, and then we just shared the music, and like we've been together since that date pretty much.
Yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then I sort of dabbled in DJing by myself prior to him, but like not seriously or anything. So when we got together, he, showed me how to DJ better than I did before. And then when we were kind of like DJing on our own and throwing shows through this promo event called Zodiac Series. And then just one day we were just talking about, and we decided to start to DJ together. So the first ever show we played together was at Astro Harvest, which was pretty wild and really fun. And then we just, decided that's what we wanted to do. We had so much fun together. It's so fun to co-create together and play and make music.
As the years unraveled through, I say like in the beginning, I was more of a DJ and now I'm more of a producer. So the roles have kind of changed and evolved. So at this point, Jen, I would say, is the majority more of the DJ and I'm more of the production and maybe the management side of things. But then together we work on different things because we are realizing and we know very well that you can't just make music anymore, or you can't just depend on labels or wait for a magical agent to show up in a fairy suit and to pick you up and do all the work for you. Realizing that the reality now, and also there are so many producers and artists out there, and there's a lot of competition, that we live in a world where you have to do everything yourself 100%. And like basically the analogy is sweeping up your car, and then the agent will come in your driver's seat and take it as fast as you can go. So we're evolving over the years, and I felt like we were good at old platforms, and in the past years it was very traditional PR, and then it evolved into now social media branding and social influencing. So yeah, it's definitely a complicated game, and we always try to work together in different ways and work together in different roles to execute.
I really appreciate that you two understand that, like, you have these strengths and weaknesses, and I have these strengths and weaknesses. How can we make this work instead of forcing it, right? And you two are, it sounds like learning is incredibly important to you, trying to adapt to, you know, like you said, you're wearing many hats, social media, and then the production, the DJ side, and trying to manage these gigs in your time. Another big thing, like with your production, I know that y'all are in the Ill Gates Producer Dojo group, which I must say, I've seen so many artists progress so quickly with his 808 class. It's incredible. What has your experience been like, and why do you feel it's important that artists get themselves that additional knowledge and feedback?
Well, for myself, it's definitely been a game changer. I've noticed huge improvements on my tunes. And what I like about it, and I'm so blown away, is that I forgot exactly when Ill Gates went from the Fat Conductor to Ill Gates, but I used to talk to him. He used to be this like random guy on my MSN that was online at 3 in the morning. And I used to ask him random questions about music and equipment. And to see him now have the Producer Dojo, there's so much value to the actual price of it. It basically costs $100 a month, and you access over 300 hours or 300 videos worth of content, which is amazing. And it breaks down into, like they walk you through, you get to watch a video of making a track from complete to finish. There's the weekly download, which if you don't want to invest $100, is only $5 a week. But then he shows you, that's where like most of the cool content is, the kind of the next level tricks. And then he also gives you access to the session files, so you could take away from that. But the parts for me that is most valuable for me right now is the track feedback. They have an amazing track feedback section. And they have amazing mentors there that all have different strengths and weaknesses. I've been really enjoying that, and the one-on-one Producer Dojo lessons. So you basically get one a month, and you can buy additional ones and have access to be mentored by Mr. Bill, Stephen Jacobs, and I forgot there's another artist there. I haven't really dove in, but they give you a lot of sound packs and resources and a lot of free stuff. So you definitely get your bang for your buck. But like Producer Dojo, it works for myself. But I really recommend, it's in a general tip, to always be learning and always learning new tricks, and just listen to everybody because everyone has something to offer.
Basically, we were in a little bit of a rut, and so we wanted to get inspired because we kind of slowed down on Nah-Dah-DEV-vah last year. So Producer Dojo was something that helped us just get re-inspired about like making music and what are we doing and what are our goals. And so it's been amazing just to bring that inspiration, like any new learning, right? You learn something new, it gets you inspired to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I noticed with his content is it's not just the music side. Like he does talk about some branding and building your fan base as well. So I like that, you know, he understands the whole picture. And I love that you two are implementing that. I want to talk about the EA game release, but I want to jump into building a team. So let's talk about that. How do you think artists can do this, and why do you think it's important?
Yeah, let me add to this.
Well, I think basically in the beginning you're like your own team, right? Unless you're a graphic designer or something on your own, you probably need that from somebody to help you design, like, you know, nice looking images and content that you can post, because you need to look professional if that's your goal, wanting to be a professional headliner DJ. So, but basically you might have a graphic designer, but basically you're doing everything yourself, like social media, getting your gigs, networking, you know, making your music, all of that stuff you're doing yourself. And so pretty much you need to build all of that stuff up on your own, like build your brand on your own till you're bringing people to you. And that's when you're going to build your team from there. A manager and an agent is going to see that you have this brand that's selling, and that's when they're going to come to you and be like, okay, come join our team. And then you start to build off that after you have built it already. So it's a lot of work in the beginning on your own, which obviously we're still working on, but soon maybe.
Yeah, Jen puts a lot of good points. And what I see in like big successful acts is that all of them have a team behind them. And I think it's important, no matter what stage people are, from like a bedroom producer, or they're just breaking into the scene, or just breaking into a bigger, more national, international scene, is to have that mindset of playing all the roles of your team. And then also accepting that, you know, you're not perfect. Like, I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not going to learn graphic design anytime soon. I like to focus on other aspects and maybe hiring professionals to do their job well. And that's what all the the upper level headliners, they have different people playing those different roles. But to get to that point is that you have to have that mindset of playing those roles on a daily basis. So if you're playing the agent role, like you want to play at this festival or play more gigs. So thinking about how you're going to do this, doing your research and reverse engineering it. So like thinking about like who are the active promoters in the city. And if it's not just any promoters, like figuring out like what your actual niche market is, where it happens, and trying to get yourself in there. And it's maybe even as simple as contacting party goers or friends of friends in a different city and kind of figuring out what like the political musical landscape is, and then reverse engineering yourself from there. And also it's like not a bad thing to have big dreams and for shooting for the stars. Like I think a lot of people's dreams is playing at Shambhala. So, you know, you think at playing at Shambhala, like other than posting your mixes in the Shambhala group page or whatever, like how are you going to reverse engineer doing that? And the way I kind of see it, it's like you have to be big in your city, and then you get bigger into your region. So it's your province or Western Canada. And then you get bigger into all of Canada, and then eventually to the States. And there's some good acts over the years, like Ski Tour is a great big fine example. Funk Hunters is a perfect example of that. Like I consider them national heroes. But like it's like taking the steps and reverse engineering it, and like really setting your goals, like kind of a business plan. You can't and I feel like Nah-Dah-DEV-vah is like a project where we just evolved over the years. You can kind of see our progress, but a lot of it was like us shooting in the dark, figuring it out for ourselves. But lately, we've been getting mentorship from different people in the industry. And some of the biggest themes that come out to me is setting a business plan, like setting your goals and reverse engineering your goals, like every step of the way and every detail. Also building on relationships, like agents, and is like that whole industry and that networking is all based on relationships. Having good relationships with people, and also I actually talked to Il Gates. I did a phone call with him about having New Year's resolution goals, and the two biggest thing that that came from that for me was content is king. Period. Like this is a day and age. Like you can make the best song in the world, but no one's going to hear it unless you have good content and you're constantly engaging with people.
Not even just about yourself, just like funny stuff, just getting people to come to your page and check out your posts, you know.
Well, like giving value to people. It's just like if you go to like Producer Dojo, you get way more value than what you actually pay for. So like the whole year, it's $1,000. I would say that course is easily $4,000 plus, with the amount of value and even stuff that you get in there. Like free sample packs for like or a drumming template or all these different racks. And what he's offering in there, like Moog bass samples, which is the best sub bass that you could find out there. So it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
I hope people are taking notes. Like this whole thing about reverse engineering, it's so key. Getting the that goal in your mind and breaking it down into a plan. Jen, what you were saying earlier about you kind of are your own team when you're first starting off. You're wearing all the hats, you're doing all the things, but from there you start building that community. And I love that you two are so integrated into that community. I know that you two have a role as talent management for Austral Harvest. I imagine that can be quite a daunting task with so many different submissions coming in. Can you run us through that process and how artists can help make themselves really stand out when they're applying for festivals?
All right, so at Austral Harvest, I've been with them in since the second year, playing different roles, but now I solely do talent management. And we brought in the talent application process a few years ago. And basically our applications are open for a month from January 15th to February 15th. And you just submit your information and we look through it. So the things that we're always looking for in like what makes a good artist is, like, first of all, like, do they fit the programming or fit the vibe of the festival? There's so much like submissions that I get that are almost completely random that don't even fit. So like really knowing your audience and really knowing your talent buyers of like what they exactly want. I always look at like consistency. So I believe that it's important to have like a SoundCloud account, especially if you're in electronic music, and having the staples. So Facebook obviously is a staple. Now Instagram is a staple. Maybe not so much Twitter. And then also when I look at, and also like now like Spotify, but it's more based on original content. But when we look at the SoundCloud, it's like we look for people being active. So it's not like they decided they wanted to play Astral Harvest and they made a mix and posted it. We're looking for like, is this person is active of posting mixes, you know, maybe monthly or, you know, quarterly? Are these people producing music? And if they are producing music, are they releasing on smaller labels, medium labels? Like, is there music quality to play out, or is it just like a listing music? Because for like, even for myself, for so many years in the beginning, I made music that was not DJ friendly. It was a good tune to sit down and listen to, but never really matched what we actually played. But like, that all being said, it's quite daunting of all the stuff that's required, but it's not like you have to have all those things, but you need to be kind of well-rounded. So yeah, maybe you're not an active producer, or maybe you're not making the best tunes, but if you're active in your community, you're active in your scene, you're playing outlaws, or someone like yourself, you're taking it to the next level, you're doing interviews, you're giving people value and information. So we look at, people being active, and also like honing their craft. Like, are they in love with their own music? Do they love their sound? Like, and that's where I kind of, even myself in my own journey, like I felt like for many years I was like spinning my wheels, and I feel like I got too distracted like with the details or like other parts of the scene. Like we threw a lot of events in Edmonton, so I was very active over the years as a promoter and active in like different things in the music industry, that I almost forgot about my craft. And I feel like I'm coming into a full circle again of coming back to music because I love it. And I'm DJing and collecting music because I love it. And it, you know, melts my own brain. I'm having aha moments, and like I'm all about the next level things and just like taking that craft and showing it to people. So it's like, you don't have to have the perfect SoundCloud profile, but just show that you're active and you're honing your craft.
When you said about your aha moments, I think that's so relatable because I feel like so many of us are like, I need to check off all of these boxes. And then they're like, wait a second, is this in line with what I'm passionate about? And am I even passionate about this thing anymore? Because we're constantly learning and changing and growing and getting involved with other, maybe subgenres or genres of music. I've definitely experienced that myself where I was in one direction for so long. I was like, should I continue to play this music if I'm not passionate about it? And if I'm going to start fresh, how am I going to learn from that experience? I think it's incredibly relatable for people. I'm really glad that you mentioned that you don't have to check off all these boxes, but what are you doing in your communities? Which I think for a lot of people like myself that are parents or they have really busy full-time jobs, they can't go to every single event. So how can they help support that community? What can they do to consistently be in the light of their particular audience? Something super cool that you guys did was get a release on EA Games. How did this happen?
So we were just friends with our friend Jeremy, and he invited us out to play a few times, and we just sort of like clicked, I guess, as friends, and he asked us to do a remix for one of his EPs. So we did, and he really liked it.
On Electric Love, I think.
Yeah, and it did really well, that one too, which was like really cool and exciting. So because of that, he asked us and a few other influential Edmonton producers to produce, because he works for BioWare, so to produce some music for that game, Mass Effect, which is cool. So like Koba, Better Living DJs, Senseless Live, I forget who else, but influential Edmonton producers. We all did, which was really fun.
And what was cool with that is they were showcasing Edmonton-based producers, and traditionally a lot of the audio and multimedia is in Vancouver. So it's nice that they were able to do that for Edmonton.
One of the songs we did is, it's just like a cool memory. We were in Europe on a vacation in Portugal, and I still remember like working on one of the songs in Portugal, which was super cool.
I definitely use music as kind of like a nostalgic tool. Some people will take pictures, but I'll write a song and it capture my emotion at that time. So every time I'll listen to it, it just takes me back to that moment. So I really love it for that.
I really dig that. That's beautiful. We're coming to the end of our interview. You guys had so much amazing things to say. To end things off, I'd love to talk about any exciting projects and events you've got coming up. What should people know about?
So we have 2 releases coming up soon, January 18th and January 31st, which we're so pumped about because we kind of took like a little break last year because Fran was finishing school. So this year we're like super gung-ho back into it. So we're really excited about these releases. Can't wait. And in March, we are playing out in Rosslyn, BC, and in Big Lights, a little kind of snowboard town and vacation playing shows. That'll be super fun. And then some festivals coming up for the summer, but can't say too much about those yet.
I feel
just working hard on, Nah-Dah-DEV-vah. You'll see a lot more of us. Building our brand.
Yeah.
Also, we have a big release coming out on a big UKG blog,
which we can't say anything about yet, but it's so exciting.
I'm super excited because we have been big garage fans for many years. But we're really into Brazilian bass, though.
Yeah.
But we still love it.
But it's like a bass house tune, though.
Yeah.
But they do bass house too.
Things are always evolving with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. I think that's wonderful. Well, we will make sure to link all of our viewers to your social media contacts website so that they can keep up with what you're doing and check out those forthcoming releases we can't talk about and stuff.
Thank you.
Nice, thank you. I appreciate it.
For the rest of y'all that have tuned in, was there anything that really stood out to you that made you think, oh my gosh, I gotta start implementing this into my career today? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, make sure you don't let no one kill your vibes.